Hey guys, it's Courtney here from Rose Bloom, where we intentionally design our life and business with the cosmos. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about the Scorpio New Moon, which is happening on the night of October 14th, and it's going to be happening at 23 degrees of Scorpio. So, as always, I highly recommend pulling up your own birth chart and locating where 23 degrees of Scorpio is. For example, I know that I have Pluto at 23 degrees of Scorpio, so this moon is going to be exactly conjunct my natal Pluto, which is going to affect or change the way that this new moon changes me or affects me. So it's really helpful to know that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what we can expect from this new moon. First of all, I just wanted to say that this new moon is conjunct an asteroid called Juno. And Juno is a marriage asteroid, but it really represents our devotion to something. And devotion, I guess, past the point of sanity almost. Like you're so devoted to it that it doesn't necessarily matter if it's hurting you or helping you, you're in it. And so I feel like this energy already with Scorpio, which is a very ambitious sign, combined with Juno, is telling us to give ourselves fully over to our ambitions or our dreams or our goals. So, whatever it is in your life that you have been wanting to make progress with and haven't necessarily made that progress lately, this is your chance. Mars is just now moving direct, and the day after it moves direct, we have this new moon coming in and saying, this is a time to plant the seed of intention of the actions that you want to take to move forward to strive towards your goals. This new moon is going to be very, very positive. And just make sure that you stay tuned to your rising sign. And you can always find the links in the description. But I'll give you guys what that's going to look like specifically for you, and then, of course, the overall energy. So, as I was mentioning, this new moon is looking really, really positive, which is something that I feel like we have needed for a long time. Scorpio is inherently a more challenging sign. It requires more out of us. And so there are going to be some elements there where we're going to have to move through shadows and really believe in ourselves in order for that ambition to get us somewhere. So inherently that's kind of built into Scorpio. However, it's being really positively supported through the different angles that it's making to planets. First of all, it's making a sextile to Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and the asteroid Pallas Athena. So all of these are really saying that it's going to be a wonderful time to start new projects, for new opportunities to start flowing. Whenever there is a sextile to Jupiter, is basically saying that all the benevolent energy of Jupiter is coming to lift you up and support you. On top of that, not only is it a good time to make connections, make opportunities happen, for changes to occur, it's also going to be supported by a strong work ethic with a sextile to Saturn, saying that if you put in the work, you will get something out of it and it will be rewarding for you. And then on top of that, with Pluto, with a sextile to Pluto, you're going to have more inner reserves. You're going to have that inner fire and passion in order to make these things happen. And it's really beautiful to have the support from Pluto, especially with a new moon in Scorpio, because Pluto is the ruling planet of Scorpio. So they have very similar energies. So they are working in harmony together, basically saying that you can absolutely achieve whatever your ambition desires if you just put in the time and the effort. And again, that's going to require you to undergo some deep inner transformation in order for that to occur, which means it's not going to necessarily be handed to us or be easy, but it's possible. And it's like this first seed of light that we're starting to receive after so many challenging things happening, after so many retrogrades. It's like finally that go ahead. On top of that, Jupiter is conjunct Pluto, or that just happened recently. So essentially what that means is that this is a strong manifestation energy. It can also sort of multiply the negative things in our life, and I've mentioned this time and time again. So it's going to be really important for you to focus your thoughts on positive things at this time. So direct your energy into things where it's actually going to bear fruit for you, where it's actually going to bring things into your life, instead of focusing on the things that are out of your control or the things that are negative that are happening in this world. And then it's making a sextile to Pallas Athena, which I think is really interesting, that there are two key feminine asteroids playing a role here. Juno, which is showing us to invest ourselves into what we're doing, mind, body, and soul. And then Pallas Athena is coming in here to support, saying that there is this inner warrior within us that can overcome all the obstacles. And we are being supported to show that inner warrior and to use that within our work. So if you feel like you're coming up against obstacles, you can pull on that Pallas Athena energy to then support you and help you throughout this process. On top of this, it's making a trine to Neptune. So I do feel like there is a deeper spiritual backing behind what we're doing. The universe is giving us the green light, the go ahead, saying, we support you. We want you to be working on this right now. And so this trine is a really beautiful thing. At the same time, sometimes trines to Neptune can make us feel like a little bit lazier, but I feel like with all the other energy, it's more of a spiritual aspect rather than, an aspect of laziness. So I would say take the time to meditate, take the time to ground yourself and ensure that the action that you are moving forward with is something that feels spiritually aligned, because I don't think you will actually be able to last throughout all the challenges unless you are spiritually aligned with that path. So it has to have like a deeper, more purposeful why for you in order for this to really bear fruit 6 months from now when we have the full moon in Scorpio. So those are the aspects that are happening specifically to the Scorpio moon. And now I'm just going to talk about what else is going on in the sky that is not interacting necessarily with the moon. So we have a tense angle, a square between Venus and Jupiter, Venus and Saturn, Venus and Pluto, and Venus and Pallas Athena. So basically all that positive energy that was just supporting us, it's still making a tense angle with Venus. And what that means is that the area around money and relationships can feel quite tense at this time. There might still be some unresolved issues, some things that need to have tension in order for you to take action to resolve them. On top of that, what I really think about with Venus is our perspective about the beauty in life and feeling really optimistic, feeling really loved, feeling really supported. And while I do think that this moon is supporting us, I also think that we won't necessarily feel like this light and fluffy feeling around this this new moon. And I think that's a given, knowing what's going on in the world around us at this time. So that also could be the possibility coming in with this square to Venus, is that yes, we're making action. Yes, we are taking action. Yes, we are making progress, but it's not necessarily going to feel as light and easy as we want it to already. The other aspect of this, if we take it kind of bit by bit and look at each square, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend because you want to look at the whole picture, but some of these keywords can kind of fit together to create a whole picture. So I'm going to break it down for you anyway. So when we have a Venus squared to Jupiter, this can often represent, again, like this like laziness, because Venus is us enjoying things in our life, and so is Jupiter. And so when these are making a conversation with each other, we don't necessarily always have like the stamina to desire hard work to make things happen. So that's a possibility that we might have to overcome. We've had this like months of stagnation with Mars retrograde that we might have to like kick things into high gear, but we've already kind of developed this habit of taking things a little bit easier or doing things a little bit slower and things not progressing. So that shift into a different gear might jolt us a little bit, and this square might be challenging us in that way to make that shift or make that progress. Venus making a square to Saturn can make us feel less harmonious within our relationships. So it can make us feel disheartened about the people in our lives. It can make us feel lonely or like we are further distanced from those that we love. And I think that makes a lot of sense given what's happening with the election. I think a lot of people are celebrating and a lot of people are saddened by that. And so there is this discord that is happening already. So that Venus square Saturn makes a lot of sense. However, this energy obviously will be moving quickly past. It's not going to be hanging out there forever. And then Venus square Pluto, this can bring some toxicity coming up through relationships. And I feel like this is going to be more so in global relationships, like in politics, how people are fighting back. There can be manipulation, there can be scandals, and that is really where like the Venus square Pluto, I think, will come into play. So I think as a global or as a collective, community, we will experience these energies in that type of way, where there's going to be still tenseness going on in relationships with people, still manipulation and power issues related to economics and related to politics. Those things have always been existing, but I think they will be more so at the forefront during this new moon as well. But still, besides all that, we're still going to be making personal progress and even, collective progress towards being more evolved and towards going after our dreams. So the last point that I want to talk about before I get into each of the signs is Mercury is making a quincunx to Chiron and is opposing Uranus. So Mercury has been opposing Uranus for a while now. And whenever it's opposing Uranus, it's giving us surprising news or brand new ideas, breakthroughs. It's like the genius strike. But again, it can also be surprising news, unexpected things, or I guess like a way of viewing things or new insights that come in that kind of jolt you. And because it's making such a harsh angle to Chiron, there's this news or this insight is coming in order to help us heal. But I think instead of helping us heal, it's going to feel quite painful. So maybe this is something that will have to come to a resolution at a later point in time. But I feel like right now, whatever news starts to come in around this new moon is not going to be, is going to be painful for some people, if not all people. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure what's going to come to fruition, but there can be choice words with people that you love, or there could be news that comes in regards to politics or the environment or the economy. I feel like something is going to be happening at that time that's going to feel quite painful or uncomfortable. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about where that might fall in your own personal chart. Okay, up next we have Aquarius Rising. Okay, so for you guys, this new moon is happening in your 10th house of your career, your purpose, your standing in the world of authority. And I love this. Whenever there is a new moon in career, I just feel like I'm getting blessings and new beginnings in my purpose in the world. And as a Capricorn moon, I just love that. And this is also going to be making a sextile to Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, which have been moving through your 12th house, and a trine to Neptune in the 2nd. Okay, so having a sextile to all these planets moving through your 12th house, I feel like is saying that you guys have done a significant amount of work healing things from the past. This could be past lives, but this could be from your childhood. And also, besides just healing things from the past, developing and working on your spiritual practice, which I feel like go in hand. Whenever you start to do like the inner child work, or the clearing from past patterns, past cycles, you are also making spiritual progress. And because that's kind of like the spiritual work that we're meant to do in this lifetime. So that's essentially what you guys have been focusing on for this last year, is connecting to your soul on a deeper level, releasing the past baggage, and developing your spiritual and intuitive abilities that help you make better decisions moving forward. So since you guys have been doing all of that hard, deep work, because the 12th house and the 8th house and the 1st house are the most challenging houses to have Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto move through. So you guys have been one of the most challenged signs in this way. So I just want to applaud you for that and say that's amazing that you've been doing so much work and showing up. Not that you've had a choice. We've all been kind of forced into doing work this year. But that work that you have done is now supporting a new beginning in your career. So you guys might have felt like you're not quite where you want to be in your career. Like you don't maybe have all the clarity that you want in your career, especially because we've had Mercury moving retrograde in the 10th house, which can bring about you kind of asking yourself questions about it, and having, especially with Mercury in Libra, which we've had Mercury in Libra retrograde. This is the most like confusing placement. It's basically saying that we feel indecisive, that we don't know the right way to move forward. And so I I feel like you guys are finally getting some clarity coming through in regards to how to make changes in your career, what new beginnings want to come through in your career. And this is making a trine to Neptune in the second house. So I think that you guys are being really spiritually supported in the area of your self-confidence, your self-worth, and even financially. There's going to be some blessings that can come through when you are doing spiritual work, or approaching this from a more spiritual why. You're going to be supported financially throughout this process. So I really love that as well. However, even though we're having Mercury move through the 10th and it's opposing Uranus in the 4th, so this energy is going to give you those new ideas that you need to move forward. However, it's making a quincunx to Chiron in the 3rd house. So there could still be some element of self-doubt. And I know I mentioned you guys are being supported spiritually through self-confidence, but that doesn't mean that you don't also experience self-doubt. So on one hand, I feel like the universe is giving you that support, saying, believe in yourself, know your worth. Here is financial support. Like, those are possibilities that the universe is kind of bestowing on you to pursue this career. However, having Chiron move through the 3rd house can bring about self-doubt in our own intelligence, in our own skills and abilities, or even our way of communicating about our intelligence and skills and abilities. So while you get these new ideas for your career, there might also simultaneously be this part of you that's like, I don't know if I can do that, and kind of like shooting yourself down. But that's why I feel like this trine to Neptune in the 2nd is almost acting like the remedy to that scenario. So it's kind of like you might experience this self-doubt, and then Spirit is coming in and trying to give you the people, the places, the words that you need to believe in yourself and to realize that you can do it. So be on the lookout for Spirit's guidance. Be on the lookout for things that come in that do support your confidence and that do support your self-worth to move throughout this process. You guys are also having Venus moving through Libra in your 9th house, and this is making a square to Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in the 12th house. So Venus moving through the 9th house, anything moving through the 9th house always brings us more focus. Like, it brings more focus into our beliefs, and also our ideals. So I think a lot of times there can be, because there's a tense angle between Venus here and all these planets in the 12th house, there can be things that are coming up from the past that you've been trying to work through, that are coming up a little bit and like headbutting this aspect of you that wants to be more optimistic about the future. It's like, I want to believe in this, but this thing happened in the past. And I want to, I want to believe, like, I want to not just believe this about myself and about the world, but also believe in the future and be more optimistic for the future. But there's this shadow from the past, or this old pattern that is resurfacing, that is making me have a hard time fully embracing this optimism, or fully embracing this new belief about the world, or about myself, or about life. So this square here is kind of asking you to heal that, to make a shift there. So there might be that thing that keeps coming up from the past, and this square is saying, okay, I've had enough. I'm ready to make a change and release this so I can fully step into my belief in myself, my belief in my life, my belief in optimism for the future. So there has to be some kind of shift there, some kind of healing that happens there. And whenever there's a square, it spurs us out of discomfort to do the healing. So if you feel discomfort in any way around anything from the past or your optimism for the future, this is saying that it's coming up at the perfect right time in order for you to heal through that, so that you can fully embrace this new beginning in your career. Because the universe wants to give it to you, but it's asking you to let go of the fears, to let go of the self-doubt, and it's giving you supportive evidence for why you should believe in yourself, for why things are going well, and why you absolutely can achieve this career goal, whatever that is. So you're getting new insights about what that career goal might be, And you're also going to be given the support energetically for why you can totally make that happen. So this is a really positive new moon. Make sure that you write down what you want to achieve in your career. And in 6 months from now, I want you to look at it and you're going to be so amazed at how much you've manifested and how far you've come. So I hope that this resonates with you guys. If so, please comment down below. Thanks. Bye.